Out of this world and on Canadian soil, the just-named Artemis II crew, including Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen, is here in Ottawa today for a panel discussion with the Prime Minister. They're the crew that'll head to the moon. The next one after them will land on it, and the one after that is set to go to Mars. Along for the ride is the man in charge of NASA, former Senator Bill Nelson. I sat down with him earlier at the U.S. Embassy. Have a listen to our conversation. Senator Nelson, great pleasure to welcome you to our program. Thank you for making the time.
Thanks so much.
When you were making the crew announcement about Artemis II, you made a point of saying in reference to the Canada-U.S. partnership, we are ushering in a new era of space exploration. From where you sit, why is it important to do that together?
Well, we go back to the moon this time. It's a different moon because we're going to the South Pole. And we go back for a different purpose. It's not just to go and come back. It's now to go there to learn, to live, to invent, to create in order to go on out into the cosmos further. The first would be Mars. The moon's only a few days away. Mars is months and months. So we go to learn how to do that. And to get to your question, we go together on an international mission. Half a century ago, we went as the United States. This time we go on an international mission. And we're very honored that Canada is our first participant with us, with Jeremy Hansen as the astronaut.
When you reference a new era of exploration, are you referencing specifically there the sort of specific march to Mars? Is that what you mean when you're qualifying it as that?
Well, it's such a big universe out there that there's so much to understand that we don't understand. The James Webb Space Telescope is bringing us all kinds of new understandings and discoveries. But when you have the human actually doing the exploration, that is also important. And that's why we venture out. And we're going to venture out as far as we humanly possibly can. Right now, it would be difficult to go all the way to Mars, to keep humans alive for as long as it would take, and as long as you would have to stay on the surface of Mars and then come all the way back. But that's the purpose of developing our space program, inventing and creating.
How will life on Earth be improved if we do go to the moon, if we do go to Mars? I think there is a feeling, an interest among the public because it seems cool, right? It seems novel, it seems interesting. But in tangible, sort of practical ways, how will it make our life better?
Certainly, one aspect is the adventure of it, the fact that we are, by nature, frontiers people. We are adventurers, explorers. It fulfills part of that desire. But I would rephrase your question. Why is our participation in space helpful to us Earthlings here on the face of the Earth? Well, in your pocket, you have a cell telephone. You have a camera in there. It takes beautiful and very clear pictures. That camera on a chip was developed by NASA in our space program looking back at Earth. And so the spin-offs from the technology that we developed to go further out into space are having huge applications here on Earth.
You have a lot of political experience in addition to your experience leading NASA, and I want to lean on that for a second and ask you about the greater kind of political backdrop or context here, and specifically there, I mean with China. In your view, is the race to get to the moon, to get to Mars, in direct competition with China?
The short answer is yes. We're in a space race to get to the moon with China. China tells us what they're going to do, and they are going to the moon. And within the last 10 years, they have hugely advanced their space program, both militarily and with the human taikonauts, they call their astronauts. So clearly it is. But take, for example, the difference. Two countries that we in the free world, and I include Canada, have difficulty with, China and Russia, and obviously Russia with what they're doing in Ukraine, the terrible tragedy that's going on there. But in civilian space, we have cooperated with the Russians ever since 1975, in the midst of the Cold War, the Soviet Union. And today, we still cooperate with them in a very collaborative and peaceful way. We built the International Space Station with the Russians. We operate the space station. What a contrast with the Chinese government. They are secretive, they are non-transparent, they will not share when Earth is threatened by one of their tumbling rockets coming back in. They will not share the trajectories. So it's a huge difference in the way we approach our civilian space program with the Russians vis-a-vis the Chinese.
Have you seen, since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, any change in that posture? And reciprocally, is there any change in the U.S. posture or any sort of second thoughts about the level of cooperation on the civilian side, given what's happened in Ukraine?
With the Russians.
With Russia, correct, yes.
Fortunately, the professional, steady-as-you-go relationship has not missed a beat. It does take the two of us, Russia and the U.S., to operate the space station. We built the space station together. I think it is Russia's intention to stay on the International Space Station all the way until we deorbit it after 2030. So the answer to your question is, we haven't missed a beat in that relationship. What an irony that is. Look what's happening in Ukraine on the face of the earth, and look at the peaceful relationship we have in space.
Do you trust them?
You have to trust your colleagues on the space station. We've had American astronauts and Russian cosmonauts go out and do spacewalks together, which is one of the most dangerous things that you can do. We launch an American astronaut on the Russian Soyuz rocket. We launch a Russian cosmonaut with the American crew on an American rocket. And that is of necessity because it takes both on board the space station to operate it.
Before I let you go, Senator, I want to circle back to where I started, and that is on the partnership between Canada and the U.S. Canada recently made some pretty significant investments for a country our size in space, but space and defense often go, and in this case certainly go, hand in hand. There's recent reporting out of the U.S., specifically the Washington Post, citing the U.S. intelligence leaks of late, that says basically our Prime Minister here privately admitted Canada will not meet its defense spending targets, NATO defense spending targets agreed to back in 2014. Is that a problem from where you sit?
Well, I'm not going to speak as to defense spending, but I will speak as to civilian space spending. Canada certainly is pulling its own weight. Canada developed the Canadian arm. That is an invaluable resource. It was first on the space shuttle, the vehicle that I flew on. It is now on the International Space Station, and it will be, and Canada was the first to sign up for what will be a mini space station in lunar orbit. There will be a Canadian arm on Gateway, that's its name. I think any nation that is cooperating with us is going to spend more in their activities as we venture out toward the moon. That's happened with Europe. It's happened with Japan, two of the other main partners, along with Canada. I think you will see an increased activity and spending in Canada.
Okay, Senator, I'll leave it there. Appreciate your time today. Thank you very much.